Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're actually checking out another battery string trimmer. I've decided to kind of do these because I wanted to kind of find out if battery string trimmers were capable of holding up or being compared to gas string trimmers around a farm. I don't think that there's any issue if you've got a home, you know, in a subdivision or in town or whatever, and you need a battery trimmer. And, you know, I think it's pretty well established that those trimmers work well in those types of situations. And I've seen people even using the corded trimmers and stuff in town and stuff where they can run an extension cord around their home. But can a battery trimmer, you know, is it actually capable of working out on property if you've got quite a bit to have to weed eat? Say you've got a ditch line or along the roadside or something like that you need to weed eat. Will these battery trimmers, you know, hold up to that kind of stuff or be capable of that? So the one we're looking at today is this Atlas Brushless 16-inch cordless trimmer. This is the 80-volt version, and I actually chose to go with this trimmer because I actually have their 40-volt and 80-volt chainsaws in this same Atlas series. So I already had the batteries to match this 80-volt trimmer, and I just kind of wanted to check out this more powerful model. It actually looked like it was built a whole lot better than what their 40-volt version is. It's just more heavy duty. Stick around, we're gonna head down to the fence line. We've got a big area down there that we need to get weed eated, and I'm gonna try this thing out and see how it does in some nice, tall, heavy weeds. We're also gonna compare this to the Echo battery string trimmer, just to kind of see the differences, the build quality, you know, how long the batteries last and all that kind of stuff. That'll actually be on a future video, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and follow along with us. But for now, let's go down by the driveway and the fence line and see if we can't get some of that stuff cleaned up. If you haven't seen the video on the Echo string trimmer, I'll put a card up here so that you can check that out. So we're going to jump in here and see how far this battery goes, see how much power this thing has, see if it works out good for this tall weeds and stuff. I have a fully charged battery. I don't know if you can see the lights on there or not, but it is fully charged. This particular one, this one came with the .080 string on it, so that's what we're going to use to get started with, but it is capable of doing the .095, so I will switch to that once this string runs out. And also I'm going to do some tests and see if that makes a difference in how long the battery lasts and how much of a difference it makes. But for now, let's jump in here and get started on this and see if we can't get our bank cleared off. So I'm actually kind of surprised. I'm down to 3 bars on my battery. I thought I'd actually be down farther than that. That's a pretty good patch of grass right there, and it's all heavy cutting. So I'm actually pleasantly surprised that the battery's actually lasting that long. A couple quick things that I've noticed about this trimmer. One, the weight of it. I like the weight of this one really well. It's not overly heavy, and it is way lighter than what the gas trimmer that I have and use most of the time is, which is actually what brought me to buying some battery powered string trimmers. It's because my wife, she wanted to, you know, be able to go out and trim around some places around the barn or something like that maybe we missed whenever we mowed or whenever I trimmed before, or I'd come out here and do the driveway and stuff and then kind of, you know, forget about some place out by the barn. So she wanted something that she could use and that wasn't so heavy, you know, that she couldn't handle it and then she didn't have to pull start it. That's the biggest thing. That Stihl FS250, sometimes that thing will even lock up like the compression is just so much on it that you go to pull it and it'll just stop you dead. And it's you know, kind of hard to start sometimes, and unless you get it turned just right and you hit the decompression stroke on it just right or whatever, then it gets pretty tough to start. The battery trimmer, there is no starting to it. You just pull the trigger and you go. But I also wanted to see if they would be capable of doing stuff like this. This is an area that's about 150 feet long or so. And you know, normally I don't trim all the way down my driveway, but all that you're seeing here so far is stuff that I do trim with the weed eater most of the time. And it's really impressing me that, you know, between the first battery weed eater that I tried out, which was the Echo, and this one, in less than 2 batteries, I almost have this section cut. I really do enjoy the fact that this trimmer is so quiet. So we finished off that section. We are down to 2 bars. The battery is actually not feeling like it's just barely is warm. So really seems like it is probably not going to have any trouble with it overheating or anything like that, like I had on some of the chainsaws. I'm really pleased with the amount of area that I can get cut with it. Seems like in the really heavy stuff, the line, it needs a little more time to cut through all that. I don't know if that's because it's the lighter line and it bends and flexes a little bit more, or whether that's just the trimmer not spinning as fast as what it needs to just to cut through it in one pass. So sometimes, you know, you just take a little more time to kind of go through some of those sections. Through normal grass, I mean, it just rips right through it. But as you can see, this real tall, heavy stuff, it's very capable of cutting through that. It just takes a little bit more time than, say, a big gas weed eater or something. But wow, I'm still impressed. And for the weight difference, you know, don't get me wrong, it's still work to come out here and walk on this hillside and all that kind of stuff and trim this stuff. But compared to carrying a gas trimmer, this one's definitely a lot lighter than the Stihl FS250R. In fact, I think that Stihl, I think it's 15.6 pounds. This one says it weighs 6.6, but I'm pretty sure that's without the battery. It actually doesn't say that on the box. It just says weighs only 6.6 pounds. That's something we'll do a comparison on our Echo trimmer and kind of weigh the two and see what the weight differences and stuff are on there and find out what the weight actually is with the battery in it. I believe that's all the battery. I'll try to get finished trimming it right around the garbage bin here. You can definitely feel the power loss on it at this point. You can tell it's pretty much done for. I'm surprised it's still going after the battery had dropped off. Well, that's it right there. You can hear it want to start, but not. And it's showing 1 bar, which on these batteries means that we're dead. Wow, I'm really impressed. I'm surprised that it made it this far on 1 charge. And this is actually just a 2.5 amp hour battery, so it's not a huge battery or anything. As you can see, we've got this section on our ditch here that's only a couple feet wide, but it's about, I'd say 60 feet long. It's a pretty good distance from the end down there all the way up here to my garbage bin. So I was going to wrap it up for our first look at our Atlas 80 volt 16-inch string trimmer. I'm going to have to say, first impressions, I'm very impressed with it. It actually cuts well. You can actually start feeling the power loss probably about half charge on the battery. You can start feeling it losing a little bit of power, but it still manages to just keep right on going. It'll cut through stuff. It cuts really good. You can take it right through those big heavy weeds and stuff, and it actually has enough power to keep it going and not let the weeds get wrapped up around the trimmer head. In fact, I didn't have any weeds wrap around it and stop the machine, and I've actually, you know, my gas trimmer before would have to, you know, I'd have something get wrapped around it and I'd have to stop and like pull those weeds out of it to get it to go again. With this one, I've not had that problem so far. Not saying it can't happen, but I've just not had it happen. And you've seen the weeds and stuff I was mowing with it was actually pretty tall, and some of them were pretty viney and stemmy, especially over here around underneath these pine trees. Like I say, and that's going to wrap this video up. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow along, because I am going to compare this one against the Echo 58 volt string trimmer, and we're going to kind of compare the weights and the power and just see if one cuts faster than the other, see if the battery lasts longer than the other, all that kind of stuff. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. That really helps out a whole lot with the YouTube algorithms, and we'll see you on the next one.